A San Francisco firefighter has been trying for 2 years to move his mother-in-law into a building he owns where he lives.
Yeah, but he can't get a tenant to leave. This is a case study about the other side of the rent crisis, and this battle has become very nasty.
Well, it really has. The I-Team's Dan Noyes is here with a story you will see only on ABC 7.
Well, Dan and Amma, we hear all the time about big landlords taking advantage of tenants and jacking up their rent. But consider what this firefighter's lawyer says, that the pendulum has swung too far in favor of tenants, and small property owners are having a tough time controlling their own buildings. For 20 years, Stan Lee has put his life on the line as a San Francisco firefighter. He received a commendation for rescuing a woman trapped under a Muni light rail car in 2004 and injured his back falling from a ladder during this inferno 4 years ago.
I fractured my L5, S1.
He has also seen some intense action at home. A tenant nearly clipping him with a car and yelling racial slurs through the front door. Lee tells me he, his wife, and 3 young children feel like prisoners in their own home.
If we were to come home and my tenant is leaving, my kids would not venture out of the garage unless I'm escorting them. That's how afraid they are of him.
This all began in 1999 when Lee purchased this inner Sunset split level with a tenant in a rent-controlled unit on the first floor.
My name's Daniel Whitaker. I've lived in the city since 1987.
Daniel Whitaker declined my request for an interview, but he has been very public about his battle with Stan Lee, appearing at a tenant rights rally last fall.
I'm a web developer. I make pretty good money. In any other city, I could probably own a house. And here in San Francisco right now, if I had to be relocated, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do.
Stan Lee tells me at first, Whitaker paid his rent on time, but as the years passed, some of Whitaker's checks started to bounce.
But looking back now, he was late about 30% of the time.
Lee finally sued Whitaker for back rent. The firefighter says his own credit took a hit as he tried to cover all the expenses with the rent coming sporadically. So he finally made a decision to get out of the rental business and move his mother-in-law into the downstairs unit.
It's just not worth it anymore being landlords in San Francisco. We just want to live peacefully in our building.
Whitaker refused to move. Lee tried an Ellis Act eviction. The law allows property owners to get out of the rental business. But Lee's former attorney left out one clause about a tenant's abandoned property. So Whitaker won the case with free legal help from the Tenderloin Housing Clinic.
And I fought them, and I fought them hard. And I won pretty much every battle.
Now, Lee's new attorney is trying a different tactic, allowed under the city code, a relative move-in. Andrew Zaks tells me the Lee case shows that the pendulum has swung too far, protecting tenants against landlords.
Our current mayor and our current folks that are in charge right now have really lost sight of the rights of property owners.
I'm sorry to hear if someone has felt that they have maybe an inordinate amount of steps to go through, but we emphasize fairness. There are rights to be protected by both landlords and tenants.
Mayor Lee tells me the answer is more affordable housing to give tenants such as Daniel Whitaker options. In the meantime, we're left with angry and sometimes inaccurate rhetoric.
My landlords got bitten by the greed bug. They did everything they possibly could. They made my life hell because they stand to reap millions off this building.
Actually, Zillow places the property value at $1.6 million. Stan Lee tells me he has no plans to sell and that he'll be losing money without Whitaker's rent coming in. But that's okay. It's all about family.
There's another financial burden here because, she's my mother-in-law. I'm going to be cooking for her, helping her do her laundry here, just like she was part of the family household, which she is.
Since I've been making calls on this case, it looks like there has been some movement. I'll let you know how it turns out. The tenant's attorneys from the Tenderloin Housing Clinic declined to be interviewed. If you have an idea for my next investigation, call 1-888-40-I-TEAM or email me through the I-Team page at abc7news.com. Dan, Amma, what a story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
Tough.
you, Dan.
Thanks.